So pet peeves are one of those things that we all have, right? Well, if you're pregnant, then you know just as well as I do that your pet peeves list kind of becomes a lot longer. The following are my biggest pet peeves. Number 1, this doesn't just apply to pregnancy, but life in general. Flakiness. People who are flaky, they say they're gonna be there, they don't show up. People who are late, I'm not talking late like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because that's me everywhere I go. Sorry. I'm talking like late, like 2 hours late. Are you even in the same time zone? I had to break off one of my friendships with a really good friend because I was meeting her for lunch and she didn't show up until literally like an hour and 45 minutes later. And we were meeting to resolve a conflict in our friendship. So that's when I realized, okay, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to end that friendship. The second one also doesn't apply to just pregnancy, but life in general. I cannot stand the noise people make when they eat their food. I think now, since my senses are like maximized or something, I think now like I realize these things more than I ever did before. You know, like, my husband is so guilty of this, it's like not even funny. He is such a chomper. He's always been, but like even now it's just like, I have to go in the other room sometimes and I'm like, David, you're chomping, please stop. It's just the sound of all bodily fluids, noises, and etc. Belching, it makes me want to throw up. Like, don't belch. It sounds like you're almost about to vomit, and that makes me think of vomit, and then I in turn when I vomit. Farting, I just think it's rude. I don't know. I guess I was just raised like that to think that burping and farting are rude, because they are. Number 3 has more to do with like the beginning of my pregnancy as opposed to now. But in the beginning of my pregnancy, people would come up to me and like rub my stomach, and literally all that was there was my fat. And they would sit there and go, oh, I think you're having a boy. I think you're having a girl. And I'm like, I think I just had 4 tacos last night. You cannot like be touching a baby when you're like 8 weeks pregnant. That's not a baby. That's like a seed. Okay, the baby's like the size of a seed. So all that fat that you're touching, you're like, oh, you're already showing. How cute. That's my natural fat. So thank you. Number 5. This one, since I've noticed that it bothers me, I now study it to see if like everybody does it. And a lot of people actually do it. It's when you're at a parking lot and you're like going inside of a store, like when you're about to go into Target or something, and you're crossing the crosswalk, and you know cars have to wait for you and they have to yield to you, obviously. But like, I'm pregnant, I'm waddling, I'm sorry, I'm slow. So I'm like, you know, waddling, doing my own business or whatever. And like, as soon as I cross the street, the car's like, woo! You know what I mean? I hate that. And when like they're revving up their engines because like they're like waiting for you, but they're like so impatient, and you can tell they're like, hurry up, lady, you're so slow. Go across the street now, please. You can like feel like them like staring at you, like their hands on their wheel. They're like, can you at least like just slowly step on your gas? So it's like, like that's how you're supposed to drive. You probably just wasted $5 in gas stepping on your gas because you're so mad at me because it took me forever to cross the street because I'm pregnant. Number 6 is just going to the store in general. For some reason, the grocery store kind of irks me, and I don't know if it's because like a lot of foods make me sick or because I have like a lot of bad memories in stores. Because I shopped at Walmart once and like threw up because I had really bad morning sickness. I don't really know what it is, but I just don't really like going to the store. Number 7 is when people call you pregnant pet names like preggers, prego. What? It's the word is pregnant. Where did you get prego from pregnant? Number 8, those who have had easy pregnancies, and when I sit there and talk about like my morning sickness and this and oh, and I feel good, and they're like, what? Well, that's not normal. Yeah, it is. I'm pregnant. I know, but you know, you're not supposed to be like sick that early on. Like when I was first in the beginning stages, they're like, why are you so tired? Why are you so sick? I'm like, because I'm pregnant. They're like, but it's not a sickness. I mean, that's just, you know, it's not like that. It's not supposed to be like that. I'm like, please stop talking to me. This one is another huge one. This one is when people come up to you. Doesn't matter if you know them forever or if you don't know them at all. they come up to you and they just start telling you their traumatic birth experience is in cases. And they're like, I was gonna do it natural too, until I almost bled to death. And then I got meningitis. And then on top of that, the baby had the flu. So we almost all died together. And I can't, you know, I can't stress enough, you gotta be in a hospital and you gotta have a doctor, no midwives. I'm like, are you done? I'm tired of people telling me like what's gonna be best for me and what's gonna be best for my baby when it comes to like giving birth. It's like, I'm doing it all natural. I know that you don't believe I can do it, but the way that you're telling me, the people that are telling me you can't do it and saying these things to me are more of a motivation for me to do it and for me to prove people wrong. So, you know, you're not really accomplishing anything by telling me your birth stories that are so traumatic. I'm sorry. I hope that I have a better birth experience than you, but even if I have a terrible one, I'm not gonna walk up to people and just start telling them about how terrible it is. Number 10, when you're driving down the road, the speed limit's 45 miles per hour and you have people in front of you driving 40 miles per hour. You should always be going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit at all times. There's no reason to be going 40 in a 45. You can be going 50 in a 40 and you'd get there a lot sooner. It's really annoying when you like live in a city and you're driving and there's like 2 lanes of people driving 40 miles per hour and you have to get somewhere and you're like, Lord, give me patience to deal with these people. Yeah, I do write songs when I get frustrated. Number 11, I'm pretty sure I'm a circus act now apparently because everywhere I go, I'm stared at. So when I go someplace and I get up from the table, like if we're at a restaurant and, you know, we're eating out and I just get up to go to the bathroom, I just literally stand up from my chair. The whole restaurant is like, and then I walk toward the bathroom and they're like, sometimes they do the smile. I just added that on for effect. I used to stare at pregnant women all the time. And now I'm like, don't ever stare at a pregnant woman again. Note to self. Because you feel like, okay guys, I know I'm pregnant. Yeah, should I wear a shirt that says it? Number 12, people standing right next to me, whip out a cigarette, light it, and start smoking it. 13 would be people's opinions on my eating habits. As many of you know, if you follow me, I've been sick a lot this pregnancy and all I've been able to really eat is like sugary things. Sue me. Okay? My baby's not gonna turn out like a fat Skittle. Maybe she will. I don't know, but leave me alone. Let me eat what I want to eat. Okay? There's only some things that like sound good some days and it's like, I feel like we have to do so much. We have to go through so much in pregnancy as it is. We don't need people adding on to it by telling us what we can eat and what we can't eat. Like, that annoys me. And don't tell me I'm eating too much salt because my feet look like sausages. Okay? That just happens because I'm pregnant. Number 14. This only happened once, but once was enough for me and I was like, ew. I was walking and these guys started whistling at me and catcalling me and I looked over at them and they were like 45 and 50 years old. Like 4 of them. And I thought about it and I'm like, you do know you're whistling at my tiny baby that's not even born yet. So that makes you a perv and you need to get a life. Number 15, I'll make this my last one since I've already vented way too much. My husband trying to control my coffee intake. Aside from sugar and all that fun goodness, coffee has definitely been like one of my biggest haves and wants, needs, desires. You know, I just gotta have it. So my cup of coffee, my daily cup of coffee means a lot to me. And when my husband's in charge and I tell him to get me coffee, he'll get me like this much. I can have more than that, babe. It's okay. No, you know, you gotta be safe for the baby. Give me my coffee now or I will attack you. So those are my pregnancy pet peeves. Sorry if I went on and on. Leave a comment below with your pregnancy pet peeves. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot to all my new subscribers. I just saw you all this morning. That's pretty awesome. Thanks so much. See you guys later.